Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, good afternoon. This is a special edition of Dr. Iyabo's Tea Time, coming to you from Atlanta, Georgia. And actually, my guest, I believe, also lives in Atlanta, Georgia. So welcome, welcome, welcome to my tea time with Dr. Iyabo on a Wednesday. Let me make sure I get the date right today, because on Monday, I was saying Monday was the 12th, but Monday was the 11th, so today is the 13th. So everybody welcome. It's a special edition of my Tea Time with Dr. Iyabo show. Hi, Dr. Tartt. Welcome. So yeah, everybody welcome. Send this live to all your friends because we're going to be talking about relationships, basically marriage. So now, even though we're talking about marriage, it's not only for singles, okay? It's not only for singles. I'm a married woman and I know I'm going to gain a lot from this show. So send this to all your friends, male, female, married, single, divorced, everybody, because we cannot learn something from this. Even those of us who are happily married, we want to still keep on hearing things to make our marriages even better and better and stronger. So get your notepads ready and your pens, okay, your journals and your pens. Make notes, ask us questions, and gain as much as you can from these experts that I'm bringing on. So, Dr. Tartt, you can request, please. Let's start, or maybe I can add you. And guys, pardon me that I have a cough drop in my mouth, but I have been coughing a lot. It's ragweed season in Atlanta. Hello, good afternoon, Dr. Tartt.
Hey, Doc, how are you?
Hello, hello, hello. Oh, I think your internet is still getting set.
Okay.
Your internet is getting set. Okay, there you go. There you go. Hi there. Can you see me? Can you hear me?
Hey, how are you? Hey, Doc.
I'm doing well. Your internet is still getting set. The circle keeps going round and round.
All right, let's see what I can do right now. There we go.
Okay, good. Hi there. Thank you so much. And I know you're busy, so I really do appreciate your time.
You as well.
Yeah.
I'm glad to be here.
I know. And we're both Atlantans, right? Don't you live right here in Atlanta?
I'm right here in Atlanta. I'm actually right here in downtown Decatur right now, here in the office.
Oh, wow. Very nice. I'm in Buckhead. My office is in Decatur, but I live in Buckhead and I work from home most of the time. So I'm so glad you're here. I'm going to give a brief bio and introduction about you, and everybody, you need to follow Dr. Tartt. I love his posts. Sometimes I'll read his posts and I'm like, I think this gentleman here is talking to me. The last few posts he's put up, I put a comment there because I'm like, that sounds like my life. Oh, that sounds like my father. Oh, that sounds like my divorce, because he knows what he's talking about. And I know that a lot of the women who follow my page, who love my platform and my content, will love Dr. Tartt, because I know a lot of you are single women. A lot of you are divorced. Unfortunately, that's just the way it goes. I was divorced and I remarried. But Dr. Alduan Tartt is a Christian psychologist. He's a PhD holder. So he helps people thrive in their relationships, and he also helps them achieve mental wellness, which is very important, especially in this day and age we live in now. This pandemic has really rocked our world. So we all need some mental clarity. He's a speaker, he's a minister, and he's an author. So we're just going to dive in. I do want to ask all of you that ask me your questions whenever you can. I will make sure I take as many of them as I can for Dr. Tartt. So here we go, Dr. Tartt. Do you want to say hello to my community, and then I'll start with the questions I have for you?
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. I'm excited. It is a blessing. It is an honor. I love teaching. It's what I was born to do. And so, you know, I'm a fan already. So I'm excited to interact with your community, because we want to talk about not only being successful, which you do, helping people be successful with their business, but be successful in our relationships, right? We want it all.
Yes.
We want it all.
Yes.
We don't want just half of it. We want the whole thing.
We want it all, and we can't be happy with our money if our relationships are not doing well. Really, you
That's
know
right.
what is money without having people you love around you? It's worthless. Yeah. So I'm going to just jump right in to the question that has been on my mind for a long time, that I love asking men psychologists, because we women want to know, is it true that all men cheat? Is it true that there's no more good men? Because I'm telling you, if you lined up 100 women now, more than half of you would tell you, yes, all men cheat. I don't trust men, and there are no more good men. What do you tell us?
You know what? You just nailed it, Doc. It depends on who you've been dating. All right, depends on who you've been dating. And so here's the thing: happily married women are silent on social media. You don't hear from them too much on relationships. They're just happy. All right. You know who's even more silent? Happily married, faithful men. You don't see them. They're not in your DMs. They're not trying to cheat. They're not trying to get your phone number. You walk right by them at work. They see you, they recognize you, but they don't flirt. They don't ask for your phone number. They don't pay attention to you. They say hi and bye. They drive by you in the car. They see you in the park looking attractive, but they don't say anything. So to you, perception is reality. But here's what we know from the statistics. Most men statistically don't cheat. Now, I know what y'all are saying. Yeah, we have to rely on self-report and telling the truth. But most men do not cheat. All right? Most men are faithful. And matter of fact, when they break it down even more, they say of the men who cheated, the majority of men who cheated only cheat once. And here's why. All right, no, don't get me wrong. Now, there are perennial cheaters. They're going to cheat from the end of time. They're never going to be in a relationship. They're going to be awful. I'm not selling you false goods. But there are other men who make a mistake, realize I hurt someone I care about. It wasn't worth it. Having to go to counseling, having to hurt my wife or my girlfriend or my partner's feelings. I don't want to do that, especially as men get older. So men do want to be faithful. Men do want to, because there's two things that are built, that men's egos are built on. And it's adequacy. I've heard you talk about when a man feels adequate, he's happy. And so men want to be adequate in two areas. One, making money and provisions. Let's keep it real. All right. And two, they want to be good at relationships. Who wants to struggle with relationships forever? Who wants to never have a woman say you're a good partner? Who wants to never settle down and for your wife to say, you know what, my husband is a good man? Who wants to go through that for the rest of your life? Who wants to be single in COVID with no one to bring you meals when you get sick by yourself? No one wants to do that. So, True. Yeah. So most men don't cheat regardless of what you hear. The reality is most men don't cheat.
And I believe you. I'm at the stage of my life now that I do believe you. So I agree with you, but then I hear from women all the time. And maybe it's the women who are being cheated on who come to my DMs. Like you said, the women who are happy are going to be silent because they don't need to seek help from you and I, you know.
Right.
So
Right.
So you're right. Now, and I want to word this well, because I don't want women to think that I'm shaming them or blaming them for men who cheat. That's not what I'm saying. But I know that as women, I know that I have my own things that I have to keep improving on. I'm not perfect. I know that, I have to be the good wife to my good husband. Now, can you tell us, not why men cheat, but do men cheat because they're not happy with their wives? I think, yeah, like you said, there's probably a small percentage of men who cheat anyway, no matter what. But for the majority, let's say there's 10 men who cheat. The majority of those 10, are they cheating because they're not happy at home?
All right, so we're talking about married men cheating. Is that right?
Yes.
Is that what we?
Yes,
married
men
and men in relationships. Okay,
yes.
Because the people need to know the truth. All right, you know the number one reason. It's sad though, but you asked for the truth. Opportunity. Opportunity. So, and this is the same reason that women cheat as well.
How so? How so? I want to know.
So they find themselves in a situation where they were not equipped. They were not equipped. So we know is that the professions of men who cheat the most are also the ones who have the most opportunity to cheat. Politicians, athletes, sales reps, truck drivers, pilots, anyone who travels and is away from home for a large percentage of time for whatever reason, there's a higher opportunity to cheat. So you're on the road, you're away from your wife, you have opportunity, you feel like you cannot get caught, or you find yourself in a situation. I'll give you a good example. So I used to be the psychologist for the Oklahoma City Thunder basketball team, all right? And they would bring me in and do workshops, and Doc, they would bring me into like cities like Utah that were boring because they don't want to have a workshop with me in Atlanta or LA, you know, or New York. They only want to see me in Utah or Phoenix or something like that. So I'm sitting in Utah. I'm sitting in the lobby, Doc, and I said, man, there are a lot of pretty women for 11 o'clock a.m. in Utah. It must be a women's conference or something going on, right? I'm so naive. I'm so naive. I'm not processing this. I'm not thinking about it. And then when the players arrive, all these women go towards the players because they're sitting in the lobby with me. I'm waiting because my room is not ready. I'm just doing some work, right? Waiting on the team to arrive so I can check into my room because we're going to have a seminar later on that day. And I realized, wow. And so you think about it. You're an athlete. Are you a salesman? Whatever it is, you're a coach. Whatever, and you're not looking for anything, but a woman who's attractive is basically saying, hey, how are you, in your face in a different city? So what we know about, the more temptation you have, the more opportunity there is to cheat, which means that your character, man, which means your ability to have self-regulation, your ability to have restraint, your ability, you have to have way more self-discipline, especially if you are an affluent man, a nice looking man, and there are more opportunities. So what a lot of times, you know, what a lot of players did was they traveled with their wives, or they would just not even entertain the lobby. They would just go right in and go up to their room. They wouldn't talk, they bypass, they totally ignore. But the rookies, the ones they were bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, they were like, oh, okay. So it's opportunity. So that's number one, is opportunity. So I tell men, I said, if you don't want to cheat and you know that you have vices, you know, like, you know, be honest, think about it. If I'm counseling Beyonce, she's telling me that Jay-Z cheated and she wanted a hug from me, that's too much temptation for me. Or I'm like, no, you can't, no hugs. I can't see you, Beyonce. I'm sorry. So you have to a lot of men limit the access, especially entertainers. They limit the access that women can have to them. Are men who have done this for a while, they realize that when they travel, they don't go to the bar and drink by themselves. All right? Or they mention that they have a wife. Are they travel in groups, right? Are they stay in hotels off the beaten path? They know if they go to Miami, I don't need to stay on the strip. I'm just being honest. So they realize, listen, I know myself. Let me not give myself more temptation than I can handle because it's not worth it. Another reason men cheat, lack of appreciation. This is big for men. Men need appreciation like we need oxygen. It's one of the top 5 needs of men, to feel admired.
I believe you. I believe you 1,000%. Keep going. I just wanted to acknowledge.
Why do you say that? You're married?
Yes. Yeah, I'm married. Well, I was divorced for 10 years. I remarried last year to my honey. He's downstairs. I'm sure he can hear me. But I do want to say that we women need to know that men love to be appreciated. However, it's not easy to appreciate a man who's not treating you right.
That's true.
But that's that. If we start on that now, we're going to go away from what we're discussing now. It's easy for me to appreciate my husband now because he's such a good man. We don't have a perfect marriage, but we have a very good marriage because he knows what I like, what I don't. So it's easy. But in my previous marriage, it was hard for me to appreciate my ex because there was so much that I was not happy about.
Right.
So then, so can you then answer this real quick? I know we're going from another topic. How do we appreciate a man who isn't treating us right?
You don't. I don't think you do that. I think what that does is that erases self-esteem because it's saying treat you nicer than you're treating me. And it says in the word, right? He who findeth a wife findeth a good thing and gains favor in the Lord. Well, if you have a man who's mistreating you and you enable that, he thinks that the relationship is fine. He thinks it's okay for me to cheat on you, for me to call you out your name, to be abusive, to ignore you, to not sacrifice, to not be the first one to repair, to not be the first one to pray, to say, hey, you know what? Maybe I need to go to counseling or talk to a pastor or do some meditation, coaching, whatever you want to call it, to get myself right because I'm not treating you. You know, if you enable that as a woman, as a wife, you are actually contributing to the demise of your relationship. And I know this kind of ruffles a lot of feathers because there's a lot, especially taught in the Christian community, and I think it's toxic where it goes too far with don't nag your husband. All right, don't be a nag, right? But when you have to speak truth to power, you also have to say, babe, this relationship needs to work equally for me. I need to be as happy as you are in the marriage if we gonna make this thing work. It can't be you super happy and I'm unhappy. It can't be you want intimacy, but I get no romance. It can't be you want intimacy, but you don't give me respect. It can't be you want intimacy, but you're not even faithful, right? Like you don't even have foreplay. You don't date me. You don't converse with me, and I'm supposed to want you. I think that contributes to the demise of just a woman's happiness and joy. We should treat our wives as Christ treats the church. But let's be practical. You have to be a good husband to see a woman that's treated well, Doc. She can't help but set the atmosphere. She want to do these things. If you treat her right, she can't help herself to think about you.
Yes, absolutely. You're right. Most women. Yeah. That
wives, I mean, just so to appreciate them, just tell them, you know, and appreciation should go both ways, right? It's just saying, you know, babe, I really appreciate you. You work hard for this family. You came home yesterday at 9 o'clock. You still play with the kids. You listened to me. We spoke. We had a great evening. I know you were tired. I just appreciate you for putting our family first. That means men want to hear that. I appreciate you, babe, because I know the kids were driving you crazy, but you played with them. You helped them out with their homework, even though I know you had work to do yourself. Babe, I appreciate you letting me invite all my girlfriends over the house. I know you don't like company. That's not you. But I appreciate you honoring my dreams because you know that's what I do. I'm hospitable. I love it. That's how I come alive. So I appreciate you not complaining and even chipping in to either finance it or leaving or just kind of doing your own thing and making sure the house is set up. You moved the couch for me. You brought the catering in. You picked it up. And then you stayed out and you didn't get mad. So I appreciate you, babe.
Yes.
That's where it goes. That's why men cheat down. So you'll notice that when men cheat, they don't. You think this woman gonna be fine. Let me see this woman, because obviously he didn't pick the woman that's better than me. But I can promise you, almost 10 times out of 10, that woman doesn't even compare. When you're looking at it, you don't even understand it. Like, why her? It's because men cheat down. Why? Because they need the woman to look up to him for a sense of appreciation. Yes. You telling him to get a job, and she's like, oh, thank you, strong black man. Yeah. I'm just glad that you're here. Yeah. You telling him learn to communicate, and she's telling him you don't have to communicate with me. We can just be physical, right? So men sometimes at their base, and I mean base meaning that at their, not the core, not the essence of a man. I'm talking about at his lowest common denominator, at his worst. Cheating is a way to make him feel good about his ego, and it's sad. If that's all you have, is to be able to please a woman physically, to make yourself look good, that's usually a man that's going through some type of crisis, some man that has some insecurity, some man that does not have power in his life, and or is depressed. So there's some men that cheat simply to make themselves feel better. The same as drugs, alcohol, sex, narcissism. All those things are attempts to try to make yourself feel better.
Wow, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. So I have a couple questions for you. Women, I hope you're making notes. Now, from a woman's point of view, I'm going to say this so that it doesn't sound like Dr. Tartt is, whatever you guys call it, shaming women or whatnot that you get, because you guys know me. I'm going to say it as it is. Now, before we go back into the conversation, there are 3 things I want to say as a teaching point that you said, but I want women to hear it from me because I'm a 51-year-old woman. and I've been through some relationships, and I understand. Okay, my first marriage, I was with him for 23 years.
Wow.
From
Okay.
yeah, from the age of 17. We met in medical school. I was 17, and we got divorced right before my 40th birthday. Then I was divorced for 10 years, and then I met my honey 4 years ago, and we got married last year. So what I've learned, okay?
Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you. What I've learned is women, we can't complain about men if we also don't take a look within us. Okay, many of you come to my DM, and when you complain and complain, I ask you back, do you know what you did to get this? Because you're complaining that you gave a man $1,000 on Match.com, and now he blocked you and he's gone. And I tell you, okay, so do you think that was a wise thing to do? Did you really think that a man you're not yet married to should take your money? So 3 things that Dr. Tartt has said so far. Women enabling the opportunity to cheat. Those women, okay, those women who were in that lobby in Utah, who were out there waiting to sell themselves to those athletes, they're women as well. They're one of us. You can
That's
say,
true.
I'm not like that, I'm not like that, but they're women. So women, stop trying to chase married men. Stop it. Okay, stop it, because you're enabling it. Because if you are married and somebody is stationed somewhere trying to catch your husband, how would you feel? How would you feel? That's the number one thing, okay? The opportunity to cheat. These men are actually cheating with some women. So women, let's talk to our daughters, let's talk to our nieces, let's talk to our friends that they should stop chasing married women. Some mothers out there are teaching their daughters to date married women. I know, because many have come to my DM telling me that, actually, Dr. Iyabo, you're a very good mother, but my mother actually encouraged me to look for. So what? So men are the problem? No.
So, it makes sense, though. I want to break it down because there's no judgment. So they feel like,
Yes.
so if you have a mindset, all men cheat, right? So if all men cheat, then they say, well, I'd rather control. I'd rather know I'm being cheated on. So if I'm going to date a married man, I don't get my feelings. I'm not the one being betrayed. His wife is being betrayed. I know what I'm getting. If I see him, I see him. If I don't, I don't. If he lies, he lies. All men lie. I'd rather be in control of knowing that I'm being lied to, knowing that I'm not the only one. She's the one thinking that he's at home or on the road doing work, but on my behalf, so damaged that I'd rather get a piece of a man that I know, right? Because I know this married man. I know him. I understand him. I can't get my feelings hurt by this married man because I already know. And so when it comes from a position of hurt. These are not women who are just home wreckers, but also these are women who want to believe the lie. It's not like, and I know you're putting the responsibility on our sisters, but the responsibility also has to be on our brothers. We get a pass where we don't
Both
deserve
ways. Both. Yeah.
Yeah, when these women come, are you saying I am happily married? My wife is fine. We have a great marriage, right? I'm just sexually attracted to you. That's all it is. It ain't gonna never be anything more than this. I love my wife. We're never gonna be together. I'm not gonna give you any money. I'm just attracted to you. Matter of fact, I can replace you with 100 other women who look like you, and I'll be with any of them. There's nothing special about you except allowing me to have a release. Men don't say that. They say, you know what, me and my wife are not getting along. All right. And they start thinking, all right, man, this guy makes some money. This is security for me, right? So if his wife is not making him happy, we tell ourselves a story. Well, maybe she's not sexually satisfying him. Maybe she's denying a good man. Maybe she's a woman that's only after his money. Maybe she's not meeting. So they justify it. And he fuels this fire of manipulation. So it's not like they're just not being told the truth. So we have to make sure that our character is right and we're not lying, because then you end up hurting 2 women. You hurt your wife and the woman who you're laying with because you're selling them a false reality that allows them to kind of buy in emotionally. It's just not fair. Go ahead, Doc, with your second point. I'm sorry.
Oh, I love it. You know what I love about that conversation? Because we're doing it from a woman's perspective and from a man's perspective. So everybody's learning today. Everybody's learning. Nagging. I know we women don't like that word, I don't like it when I'm called nagging or nagging. It's not, it's just a stereotype that we don't like. However, women, I've done it. Sometimes I do it and I have to like, yeah, so, I know I do it. Sometimes I go on and I talk and I nag. So women, Dr. Tartt did say that. He didn't say it in a way. If you missed out, you watch the replay later. But I'm extracting from him what he said from the woman's point of view. Women, let's not nag. There's a time to actually just zip up our mouth. There's a time to zip up. We don't have to talk all the time. I'm telling you, I do it, so I'm not perfect. I just have to catch myself. The third thing was the
Hold on,
lack of
let me stay right there.
Yes. Yeah.
Because we have to own this, right?
Yes.
Nagging is when you bring up something over and over again for no reason.
Yes.
But a lot of times, what men consider nagging is really, you tell me what you think, because you're a wife. It's really your wife trying to help you out. Babe,
Yes.
you really need to go to the doctor. That cough doesn't sound good. Baby, you need to think of some ways to work smarter, not harder, because when you get older, baby, you can't keep up this pace of working from sun up to sundown, and our marriage is suffering. I don't want to have to compete with sleep for quality time. Hey, babe, you need to spend more time with our son. You're working a lot, but I see him yearning you, and you can't see it. Hey, babe, I think we need to get in our word more. I've seen a shift in you and us now that there's a pandemic and we're not inside of a church. I really think you need to reconsider us doing a couples devotional. So what I see, because the research shows that married men are happier, healthier, and wealthier because of our wives. We're healthier because you all cook healthy things and make sure that, I'm serious, other single men eat horribly, right?
Yes.
You make sure that we're here for a long time, and you make sure we go to the doctor and go to follow-up appointments. 2, we're happier because we have someone to share the world with. We're not coming home to some cabinets, and we're coming home to a home, not a house. I don't care if it's a mansion, it's still empty, And then number 3, we're wealthier because not only do we have someone to go double on the income and half on the bills, but we have someone who can say, hey, babe, that deal doesn't sound right to me. Right? We have someone who can advise us, especially a talented woman like yourself that brings a lot of business savvy. That's an asset.
Thank you.
My wife is in real estate. I don't look at the deals. Why would I look at the deals? That's your expertise. I just want to know the interest rate. I just want to know the area of town. Give me the terms, and I'm out. Right?
Yes.
That's on you. So I'm wealthier because of that. And so this is the knot that single men, don't have. They don't have these things. So when it comes to nagging, make sure that we differentiate advising, counseling, being a helpmate to your spouse, versus just nagging.
I love it. My husband is going to watch this. I'm sure he's listening. Neil, I have a video for you to watch later today. He said, okay.
Right.
He said, okay, we'll watch it together later, but I'm really loving this. And I'm going to, before I talk about lack of appreciation, there's some questions. I'm going to give them to you so that we can keep it going. So my friend here who's talked mental health says, sometimes nagging can be good, right?
It's different if you advising. Are you looking out for? It's just the terminology. No one likes to be nagged. That means like you're talking more than I want to hear. But absolutely, you should not drop something that's good for your marriage, even if it causes conflict. So my wife told me, she was like, babe, I think you're working too hard. I really want you to meet with someone about working smarter, not harder. And I was like, oh, babe, there you go. She was like, do you want more time? You said this before. Now, should I hold you accountable when you said you wanted more time, or should I let it go? And I was like, nah, you right. Y'all crafty. Nah, you right. Go ahead and set the meeting up. I do want to hear what they have to say, right? I do need to get out of my own head, and I can't be the smartest guy in the room. Otherwise, you're dumb. Let's just keep it. So I need to meet with whomever it is, because it says in the Bible, plans fail to succeed based on the wisdom of wise counsel. That's Proverbs 15:22, I believe. And so when we look at it, why would I not get wise counsel on opportunities for myself? Babe, I appreciate you setting it up. So I need her, because think about it. Now I'm benefiting from that. I'm
Yeah.
benefiting. Say, hey, babe, you need to look at your body mass index. If you want to live to be 100, that's my goal, to be a centenarian. You might want to look at incorporating some more vegetables, some more vegan. You got to cut out some meats. You have to cut. I don't drink. I don't smoke. You got to do the things that other people don't do. I want you to meet with this health coach. Met with a health coach and realized I need to be exercising even more than what I'm doing if I'm going to live to 100. So I appreciate the gift of a wife. So yes, so if you're talking about that type of nagging, we need that all day.
So not nagging, Dr. Adeyemi, but advising is okay. Now, Dr. Anne Maureen says, so when do you talk? I think she was referring to when I said, women don't nag, zip up. I think that's what she's referring to. She said, so when do we talk?
When you see a problem, according to the research, they say that wives and women in relationships actually have the pulse or the temperature of the relationship more accurately than men do. So a lot of men are just out to lunch on the quality of their marriage. They know there's some problems, but they might rate it a 7. You ask the wife, she says, no, we're in trouble. We're at a 3. As soon as these kids graduate from high school, I'm out of here. He doesn't know it. But if he doesn't change, and so what it's saying, it backs it up in the word. It says, he who findeth a wife findeth a good thing. So that means that good and gains favor in the Lord. So that means that good thing, ladies, if you see something that's not good for your marriage, like no quality time, that's opening the door for infidelity. If y'all are not connecting, well, we gonna wait for him to connect with someone else? He just gonna stop being sexual? If our intimacy has been impacted because of low libido or trauma, or we're not getting along, and you say, we need to go to counseling to fix this, because we can't go without intimacy for 2-3 months, babe. That's right. Not healthy. And I don't trust you. You may not trust yourself. All right, I can't do this long term. It's not gonna work. So that's when you speak up when there's a problem. Say, hey, babe, your mom being all in our business, that's not working. That's not working. I need you.
Don't bring my bad memories back from my previous marriage with the mother-in-law.
I'm sorry, Doc. I'm sorry.
I'm just joking. I'm healed from that. I'm just joking.
But you need to bring it up. So you need to help him establish boundaries and say, hey, listen. And it's the same thing. We're helping family with finances and saying, hey, we can't help everyone and maintain our lifestyle and put our kids into school and be able to take the opportunities that are in crypto right now. We're trying to have generational wealth. You can't just keep giving money to the family. It's different. That's different from having a heart for people and helping out versus you financing them and them taking advantage of us. We can't do that, babe. We need to have a conversation. We need to have some rules in place about how much money we give out and under what terms. Otherwise, we're going to look up and realize that our own legacy, our own children, our own lives are being negatively affected. And you already know when you ask them for the money back, they're going to be like, well,
you won't get it back.
They don't have
it. That's easier said than done, Dr. Tartt. What if the man doesn't want to listen?
Oh, this is great. I think a woman has to behave how she feels. So a lot of times you'll just say, he won't listen, and you enable the behavior. All right. But there's a power of a woman, right? You just behave how you feel. So if you're disappointed, behave disappointed. So he comes home to kiss you on the cheek and you kind of pull away a little bit. He's like, what's wrong with you? I'm disappointed that we didn't have a conversation about your mom. I'm already thinking about Thanksgiving and Christmas going like it did last year. And babe, I'm not trying to punish you. I'm just disappointed. I want us to talk about it. I'm not going to stop being your wife. I'm not going to put this on social media. I'm not going to be mean, but I'm disappointed, right? You know, last night you tapped me on the leg for intimacy, but I asked you for romance, right? And so when we tapped me on the leg, I'm not enthused. I'm sorry. I mean, we can be together. I don't want it to be like this, but I need romance to desire you. I need to feel seen, heard, cherished. I need to be a priority. I need quality time versus just feeling like I'm just an instrument for your gratification if I can keep it 100. Baby, I'm just trying to be, I'm sorry. If you want me all spicy and you want me, like you want me, I'm telling you the pathway to that. So I'm not going to divorce you. I'm not going to break up. I'm just letting you know how I feel. You do that over and over. He going to say, all right, fine, baby, where you want to go out to eat? Oh, I'm glad
You're right.
I have a list of 3 restaurants I'd like to try. That way
You're
you're not
right.
enabling him. You're not destroying your marriage, but you also are not enabling him because you're allowing him to realize this is the score. This is how I really feel. I'm not being fake. I'm not being mean. I'm not being manipulative. I'm not going outside of my marriage. But if you want me, if I say nothing, you know what's going to happen. Resentment, bitterness. And eventually you're going to say something. You're going to go off, right?
Yeah.
Like, where'd that come from? You're better
Yes.
off just letting me know real time. I'm just disappointed. I'm hurt. I'm sad.
You said we should behave how we feel. What if we're angry?
Ooh. You know what? Anger says that you've done something to offend me and you're drawing a boundary, saying you can't do that to me. There's nothing wrong with being angry. There's something wrong with how you behave when you're angry, right? So you can say, babe, I'm upset. I am angry with what you said to me last night. And I don't know if I can go any further as far as, I can't even be kind to you at the table because I'm thinking about what you called me, and I want to put bygones be bygones. I'm angry that you call me that name, and I need you to apologize, and I need us to be able to talk about that type of language not being tolerated, especially when you did that in front of the kids and you set a role model for them. I was embarrassed. I would never tell my daughter to accept what you call me by any man. So I can't enable this. I can't act at family dinner. I just won't eat with the family. I'll prepare the meal. I'll set the table. I'll make sure you have what you need, but I will not participate in eating the meal. I will just simply show you with my behavior that I feel like I was treated unjustly. I was not treated like a queen. I did not deserve that. And I'm not giving you an ultimatum. I'm just telling you how I feel so that if you feel led to apologize, I can join the family meals again.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic, Dr. Tartt. Women, are you making notes? Women, are you making notes? This session you're having from Dr. Tartt is worth about $20,000. Dr. Tartt, I know
I'm
that
giving my cash out. I'm giving my cash out.
I'm telling you, women, and let me quickly ask you, you do the counseling that you do, you obviously people pay you for it, right?
That's correct.
I hope you're going to increase your prices today because you know me and my coaching, some of my coaching clients are on here. I tell them, your prices are too low, up, because what you're saying here will save some marriages today and for many weeks and months and years to come as people watch the replay, because what you're saying here is real and it's gold advice. Honestly, I'm saying this because I know. Take Off with Tammy says, you're welcome. Take Off with Tammy says, do you believe a woman should stay with a man after cheating?
Oh, so it depends. Like, first of all, it's a personal decision. All right. It's a personal decision because you have to kind of measure, can I get over this? There's some women men can't deal with it at all. Let's just be honest with it, all right? Actually, it's not true. I found that men can deal with it when they feel like they caused it. My wife told me, she gave me warning signs. She said she wanted more quality time. I ignored her over and over again, and she did this. Now, that doesn't mean they condone it, but they feel like I caused this. She's not a bad person. I left her, I'm not going to say no choice, but I made it difficult for her, right? I went to jail for 2 years. I traveled every 30 days, at a time when she said that did not work for her. She felt lonely. She felt unprotected. I was abusive, whatever it is, and she needed safety. So, yeah. But when it comes to this, it's a personal decision. But here's the key. You have to decide whether this is a one-time deal or are you signing up for continuous infidelity, right? Now, here's the thing. A lot of this depends upon how your husband behaves. Men who cheat and are apologetic about it will bend over backwards and do whatever you ask them to do to make a wrong a right. If we need to go to counseling, they say, I'll find it, or if you find it, I'll pay for it and I'll go. They'll offer no resistance. Why? Because they realize atonement, right? Atonement. I'm willing to atone for my sin. I'm willing to atone for hurting you. And whatever you need, because it's about you, whatever you need to repair, I'm willing to do for as long as it takes for us to put this in the past. Now, men who don't want to stop cheating are not going to go for that. You know, a man who's cheated will give up his device. He'll say, here's my code to my phone. I actually like the boundaries. All right. I don't like you going through my phone because it makes me feel like you're a mother or I'm being supervised. But I realize I don't deserve right now for you to trust me. And you need to see that you can trust me versus my words, because my words deceives you. So even though I don't like it, you ain't like being cheated on. So I'm going to give you my phone. Here's my Facebook password. Here's my Instagram password. When I call you and I go on the road, I'm gonna FaceTime you. I'm going to allow you to FaceTime me 6 times throughout the night, whatever you need to see that I'm by myself until I've regained that trust and you don't think about me cheating on you anymore because my behavior's changed. Kind of like credit score, right? Your credit score drops, you know, because you do something bad. It takes a long time to repair it. Well, people that want to do business with the bank don't mind it. They don't mind repairing. They don't mind establishing good grace because they understand I defrauded the bank. I defaulted on that loan. Same thing when it comes to cheating. So if you have a man that's willing to make amends, and also number 2, willing to talk about what went wrong. See, he has to be able to tell you everything so that you don't have to guess. So here's what happened. Baby, it wasn't you. I got a promotion. I've never had women throw themselves at me like this before. I wasn't used to it. I didn't know how to handle it. I liked the adrenaline. I liked being seen, and I just didn't know how to handle it. Our marriage was perfect, right? I need to work on my self-esteem. I need to limit, now that I'm a high value man or whatever, I need to limit access to me. Because I realize I may fail again if I want to be 100. I may fail again, right? I can't go to a club and Rihanna start kissing on my ear. I can't do it, Doc. Oh, that's too much. You're too
Rihanna.
I'm going down. That's Tartt going down. So I'm not going to give you the opportunity. Why put myself in a situation?
Yes. Yeah.
So these are real. Or what I hear a lot of men say, when you refused me the 7th time, in my mind, I thought you deserved me cheating on you because you refused me. I'm not condoning it. I'm not condoning it. I'm just simply saying that when men come to my office and open up and they start having these conversations, they're saying, hey, when you refused, or when you went through menopause, that was tough for me. Or after we had our first child and your libido dropped, because you know when women are breastfeeding, the libido drops, and you ignored me for a year. I was good for about 10 months. But then, you know, after my mom died, after I got fired from work, and then you busy with the baby and me feeling like a failure, all those things colliding open up the door for someone, and I need to get those things fixed. So so when you have a husband that's willing to open up, that's how you know you can take him back, because he's willing to make the changes so that you don't have to go through that over and over again and fix it.
I love it, because this one is so true. The men who want to continue cheating don't want to go to counseling. They don't want to talk about it. They want to justify it. So yeah, another gem you just threw out there. Now there's a few comments here and there. When we were talking about something, a lot of my African sisters are here, and the African and African American, but a lot of my African sisters who still live in Africa, and somebody said that won't work for African men. I don't know what to say. Do you want to comment about that? You're African.
Well, I mean, you know, I'm not gonna step out. I'm not gonna step outside, you know, of bounds. And I've seen a lot of couples. I've seen, for whatever reason, primarily I've seen a lot of Nigerian couples. All right, so I know that culture is different. However, you know what? The culture that matters is the culture of the husband and wife, right? Yeah. So if we didn't sign up for anything that's polyamorous, if I didn't sign up for that, and you didn't present that to me up front, and I didn't agree to it, I'm not going to agree to it now. Now, if you want to go do that, you can go find someone else to do that, but I'm not going to participate, right? Or, hey, why don't you, I'm going to keep it real, because I know the husbands on here like, come on, Doc, say something for us. All right. You also have to be open, wives, when your husband tells you the truth, to listen. When he says, listen, I would like to do something new. I would like for our sex life to be adventurous. I would like for you to engage in some of these fantasies that I have in my head. All right, long as they're not perverse. I would like for us to have some eroticism inside of our marriage. All right. And I need you to be open, because when I say I want to do this and you're like, nah, don't do that. All you're doing is loading up these fantasies in my mind. I don't like them. I wish I didn't have them, but we're married. We're married. I want to be with you. And if you're refusing every sexual fantasy I suggest, you only want to do the same thing over and over again and expect that not to be boring and monotonous, you're loading up this desire for something else. But if you can keep this variety, this spice, mixing it up in our marriage and be open to doing some things, now I don't have a need to go anywhere, if you want me to be honest as a husband. If you opening up and we're doing some new things, that we agree to as a couple, and we can't predict what's going to happen in this spontaneity and this spice, I'm running home. Bump work. I do work later. I'm happy to be home. So I think as men, we have to be okay having those conversations. And as women, you have to be open and saying, I want to satisfy my husband, and I also want to communicate to my husband and how he is to satisfy me. That way he can see that I'm into it. Now, you didn't ask this, but a lot of men can feel that their wives are not into it, and they want to be desired. They feel like she's just doing this as a chore. She's doing this out of obligation, if we're talking about cultural. All right. But if you communicate to him, babe, there's some ways in which I want to be touched. There's some things I need you to be able to do that actually make me feel a certain way without me being crass. All right. There's a way you can get there, but you have to be open-minded to doing some things, because once you do that, you're going to feel such excitement and joy from me. It's actually going to be mutually beneficial. All right. It won't have to be an obligation, because it's all about you getting pleased and not about me. So when couples start having real conversations, then their sex lives improve and the quality of their marriage improves.
I'm glad you're saying this. Women, sex is important. Intimacy is important in a marriage. I don't know what to tell you guys. I don't know what to tell you. You have to spice it up. You have to do some, without giving you all the graphic details. You have to. Okay, otherwise down goes your marriage. You have to be intimate. We all want some kind of physical connection. But I can hear women saying, Dr. Iyabo, it's not easy. Your kids are grown up and you're this and you work from home, but it's not easy. I have 4 kids running around. I have to do this and do that and do that. I'm tired. That's a discussion for another day. Go and watch all my YouTube videos. Go to Dr. Tartt's page. I'm sure. Women, you don't have to do it all and then complain. Ask for help. Don't feel guilty because somebody else is raising your kids in daycare. They will be fine. They will be fine. I was raised by many people when my mom was out working back and forth. My grandma was there some days. The house help was there. I turned out okay. Just pray on your kids. Cover them with the blood of Jesus. This is what I do. I just say, okay, I'm not here with you, but you're covered. So women, because I can hear your voices in my head, literally saying, Dr. Tartt, you don't know I'm busy with the kids and I'm this and I work a full-time job and I don't even have time to exercise. Exercise is important. If you don't exercise, you will not feel sexy.
That's true. And if men don't exercise, you won't have testosterone, especially if you're a man over 35, your testosterone is dropping. But guess what's happening with your wife at 35? Her sex drive is increasing. She's ready all the time. So men, you have to work out. You have to work out. If you're over 35, to build testosterone naturally, because you're not going to have it. And so if you're not satisfied, first of all, if you're not feeling like a man, you're not virile as a man, that is a red flag, because that man is in trouble. All right, because that's the core of who a man is being able to please his wife. And you'll see a lot of times men avoid sex. Wives are like, no, it's my husband that's running for me. Check for erectile dysfunction. Check for too much stress. So if they're able to work out, it's super important that couples be able to talk about what's going on, so they can keep the main thing the main thing. I'm all for taking care of kids. We have 2 and 1 on the way in our household. But those kids go to bed, Doc. They
Congrats.
go to bed at a certain time. All right. And when they go to bed, that's our time. So as long as you have boundaries, you can have it all. As long as you have it scheduled. Personal time, married time, family time, just schedule it all and it can work, but you can't wing it and expect for something not to fall off.
Beautiful answer. I love it. I love it. Somebody says here, we don't want to forget the singles. We have an hour, but we have to do this again, Dr. Tartt. We have to do it again.
You know, I love it. I love the energy.
Me too. Look, we've spent 50 minutes on here already. Somebody says, in dating, do these same rules also apply? Once you have made your plea, when do you call it quits?
Yeah, so if someone's not able to meet your needs in dating, yeah, why keep going? They're telling you who they are, right? And I see so many women who are focused, and I get it because you're emotionally attached, right? You're emotionally attached to a man who's unwilling to commit, right? But you don't see that there are other men who are looking at you wondering why you're dating a man who doesn't want to commit to you. They're looking like if she could just stop dealing with this guy and deal with me, we could be getting married. Because I did a video earlier this week where I talked about the U.S. Census data that showed that for African-American women by age 55, 82% are married. 82% of African-American women are married by age 55. Because a lot of people think it's only 1 in 4. They believe to me. That's just not true. This is from U.S. Census data. You can look it up yourself. So the majority of women are going to be married. Why men need wives to take care of themselves practically. They don't want to be the old guy. No one wants to be alone, not even men.
No.
And men, I had a man tell me yesterday, he says, I've had a bunch of sex, but it all feels empty. It's just empty. It doesn't feel like anything. It doesn't give me any thrill. And he came in for counseling because he wants to stop cheating so that he can commit to the woman that he's dating. He realized I can have all this variety in the world, but it means nothing. And it's really a fix for my ego when really I want to patch that up in a healthy way so I don't keep ruining really good relationships. Right? So that's the essence. So everyone wants to feel something. Everyone wants to feel connected. We die without connection. We thrive on connection. If you want to punish someone in jail, what do? They put them in solitary confinement. That's telling something. So we need to feel connected.
Giselle from Rejuvenature says, you also have the double personality of men who accept to go through counseling and still keep the cheating mentality or behavior. What do you say?
Yeah, I mean, let them go, all right? So if you realize what you're talking about is a double-minded man, you're talking about duplicity. On one hand, he says this. On the other hand, he does this. You don't listen to what a man says. You watch what a man does. All right, same thing for women. Their actions dictate how they feel. It's not what they say. Anyone can say anything. I could say whatever I want to say. It doesn't mean I'm going to do it, right? Yeah. So it's important to watch that man's actions and then also ask yourself inside, why am I doing this? I know I'm being lied to. What's going on inside of me that wants to attach to a lie that I'm aware of? Now, no judgment. That's where the work is. That's when we start looking at trauma. That's when we start looking at childhood. That's when we start looking at desperation. That's when we start looking at mindset. Well, if all men cheat and he's cheating, why leave the man who's cheating for another man? I'm already with this guy. But if you don't believe that all men cheat, you're like, look, I can do better. It's going to hurt to detach myself from someone I thought was my life partner, or to decouple, or to divorce. It's going to hurt. It's not fun. I'm not wishing that on anyone. But if you look at the future and you say, hey, I can be in an exceptional relationship with someone who is faithful, someone who's open and honest about what he needs so that we can respond real time versus lying and covering it up and being duplicitous, then you're able to make that move because you have standards, hope, and you just have faith that things can get better versus it's sad to live your whole life knowing that you're never going to have what it is that you deserve and you just have to kind of give up on it. That's no way. That's not living. That's slow death. That's just existing. Matter of fact, I even think it's worse than that. That's like you just slowly whittling away.
Terrible.
And I found most women can't do it. They say I can do it, but when it comes down to it, that something kicks in, Dr. Iyabo, that says, no, I need to be happy. So I don't care what the risks are. I have to go. I can't look myself in the mirror and be proud, knowing that I'm being cheated on and I'm going places and women looking at me and feeling like a fool. I can't do it. I love myself too much.
I don't know about the statistics, but there are many in my DM who put up with it, Dr. Tartt.
Yeah, I mean, you know, one of the statistics that shows why people stay is if they can afford to leave. All right. So a woman that has means and she doesn't have to downgrade her lifestyle and she can leave, she's out. But it's a lot harder when, especially if you're older, when am I going to make that retirement back? He's the income earner. I don't have money to fight him in court. What will this do to the kids? We just had a child. I don't want to lose this house. This is my house. Why would I lose all this and have to downgrade to an apartment? Absolutely not. So it's these conflicts. But if you can replace the lifestyle fairly easily, and I'm not condoning it. Like Steph Curry's mama, you know, she and Dale got a divorce at 35. She dating another. She fine. Both her kids could take care of her and her daughter. They're all well to do. So she's not. Why would she stay with a perennial cheater when I can go out and she's dating another guy already? Right? I can go find me. Men come at attractive women all the time. Talented women. Yeah, men always gonna be there. So I have men coming at me that want to be faithful, and I don't have to worry about money. Bye. See you later. Right.
Yes. And but this is why I'm teaching women. I'm so sorry. This is why I'm teaching women financial freedom. I'm passionate about it. Yeah. Yeah.
You say teaching women. I watch your videos too. That's hey, don't exclude me.
That's funny. That's funny. Okay. Mary says some men also just like variety and want to explore.
That's everyone women want variety. No one wants boredom. It's an excuse. It's an excuse. So you have to be able to talk about what that variety looks like in your marriage. And I can be candid. You can go to a nice club and it'd be a sexy ambiance and get turned on by that and come home. You can go to spoken word, some poetry, a nice romantic dinner. You can go someplace in the world that's romantic, right? That romance is variety. So whenever there's boredom, just talk about it and be able to make those moves inside of your marriage. It's real. Variety is needed. Yes. But when you say the only variety you can get is outside of your marriage, that's when you're dealing with the person that has some character flaws, unless it's part of their culture.
How do you manage long distance relationships? Fully loaded question.
Yeah, keep it limited. It should only be long distance for a limited amount of time, and you should visit each other a lot, as much as you possibly can. So, and then this is where couples have real conversations. I see a lot of military couples, and the husband likes that action, or wife likes that action, but you're like, we can't do another tour in Bahrain. We can't do another tour in Afghanistan. Well, even that's not the case anymore. But we can't do that anymore. That's bad on our marriage. You're going to have to find a way to do something that you enjoy here in the States. So I'm not asking you to work a desk job that's boring. I know you like the action. Let's talk about private security. Let's talk about something that gets your adrenaline going, that makes you want to go to work, that doesn't cause our family to be apart. Or maybe you move to wherever he is. Let's be open to how we can make this work for both of us. Or maybe we move for a season and then we move back. Let's do something that works for both of us so that we're both happy. That's true marriage, being willing to sacrifice for one another mutually.
That's one of my Nigerian sisters who asked that question. And I know why she's asking, because it's becoming very commonplace in a lot of Nigerian families. The wife lives in America, the husband lives in London, they hardly see each other. I tell people that that's not a marriage. Well, you know, you do that for what, 5 years, 10 years, he comes home for 2 weeks, then he's gone for another 3 months. Is that a marriage? I don't think that's a marriage.
you're setting it up for because then that man has to have self-control and not seeing you. That women have access to that man, and as a woman, that means you have to go without certain needs, conversational needs, safety needs.
Yes.
You're by yourself in a house. You think you're not going to
With
yearn
the
for the
children,
safety of
with the children.
you think you're not going to get burnt out being the only one having to do homework, the only one doing transportation pickup and drop off, not only from school but from sports and extracurricular activities, and not be bitter? No, it's cool to do a season in London, a season, back home, because that's life sometimes.
Yes.
But to sign up for a lifetime or longer than what you can tolerate, that's when you would nag and say, "This is not gonna work for me."
Yes. Do you
It's
have
not
5
gonna
more
work.
minutes, Dr. Tartt? Do you have
Yeah,
5
yeah,
more minutes?
yes.
Okay. Another sister says, what about young single mothers whose fiance doesn't want her children in his house? Should she cut him off or go ahead and marry him?
I mean, you should never have to choose between a man and your children. That sounds like you're being manipulated or you control. He knew you had children when he dated you. And think about what damage that does to your children when you pick a man over them. You should never have to choose. If he doesn't want to be a father and a husband because you're a mother and you would be a wife, then it is no deal. I know that's difficult to hear, but maybe you should draw your boundary in the sand and saying, "Hey, I would never want to have to choose between a relationship and my children." I think that we could set boundaries where both exist. And if you feel like we can't do that, I'm sorry, but I would think that we could, and see what he says. Otherwise, you're just being manipulated. Because if it's not, once he cuts you off from his children, let's be real. He's gonna cut you off from his friends. Yes. He's gonna cut you off from business. He's gonna cut you off from anyone that has access to you other than him, so he can manipulate you. You can be his little toy. No, we're not going for that. Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. That's controlling behavior, very controlling behavior. We cannot finish without me asking you this question, Dr. Tartt. And you know statistics better than I do. But as a pediatrician, I've seen many single moms in America. I have many, many single moms. I don't know what the percentage is, but there are a lot of single Black moms in America, and the fathers are not involved. Where are all the fathers? What's going on?
Yeah, so first of all, fathers are involved. You just don't see them, but for their perception is reality. One, we have a lot of fathers who just don't feel competent, right? So they don't feel competent when it comes to their careers. They don't feel competent when it comes to how to make relationships work. Now, they'll never say it because of pride, but a lot of times fathers disappear because they don't want to face disappointment from their children. So you have a father, "Dad, take me out to eat," and they don't have the money. They rather just not show up. Why? Because it's selfish, but it's also easier. Because if the kids see, "Hey, you know what? I'm struggling with drugs. I'm struggling with alcohol. I'm struggling with treating women right. This is my 3rd woman in 2 years, and all 3 of them say the same thing about me. I can't keep stable housing. I can't control my temper." So they rather just stay away to preserve this fantasy of an absent, phenomenal super dad versus exposing themselves, right? And so when it comes to men, we have to make sure that we are raising our boys. So we talk so much to our daughters. So now that I'm getting ready, I have 2 daughters and a son on the way. And I was telling my wife, I'm going to talk to him so strong about how to treat women early on.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
And so it's important. So we have to talk to our sons about making sure that they're great at relationships and giving them the skills to be great at it, right? And going against culture that says that you objectify women. A high value man has 9 women. We have to go against all that dysfunction and help him understand and help boys who've been traumatized, who have not had good relationship with their moms. That's a big deal. Be able to repair so that when they enter into relationships, they can make it work. And we have to change the stigma around counseling. I call it coaching for men. Come to relationship coaching. We all can learn. If I argue with my wife 3 times, Doc, we go to counseling. Right? Why are we gonna argue 4 and 5? My wife from Inglewood, California. I can't hear all that, right? I'm like, baby, that's enough. Let's just go. Let the doc tell us what to do so we can have an amazing marriage and blend our perspectives. And so men have to be willing to do that versus calling it quits and leaving it up to moms to raise children by themselves. That's just not fair.
So we're going to round up. However, I know there are many people who need you out there. I know because they're my DM and I'm primarily a business coach, you know. So I'm going to start sending them to you. I'm primarily a business coach. I do some dating coaching, but I don't do a lot of it. I want to teach women how to make money. People, I guess, some men too. But how can people find you? How can they sign up? Do you coach women alone? I'm going to tell you something. Like, I don't coach men one-to-one. It's just my choice because
Right.
I've never been successful at having a male friend. Every male friend I thought was just a friend ended up wanting to be with me romantically. So I just know that I cannot, and some men have tried signing up for my one-on-one, but I know what they're trying to do. They're not trying to sign up for, because, you know, I can tell, I'm intuitive. I know they want to pay and then come and start being silly. So I just don't coach men one-on-one. I'd rather, especially, I'm married now. When I was divorced, maybe when I was single, but now I don't want to coach a man one-on-one who's going to try and, you know, chase me while we're doing the coaching.
Right.
So what do you coach women? Because there are many women who are going to probably want to come to
right
you.
right so when it comes to counseling, you see whomever comes in. All right, but if we're talking about relationship coaching, I actually have a program with my wife called betterhusbandbetterwife.com. So check out betterhusbandbetterwife.com, or just get in contact with me in the DMs, and I'll send you the information. My wife send you the information, and so we come together to help single women. And we also have ringformula.com for single sisters. Ringformula.com. So I do the coaching with my wife. And the reason for that is
Wonderful.
I just feel like you need both perspectives. So what I see as a man and what she sees as a woman, we combine to be able to help you with. Yes. Single, ringformula.com. As a husband, a wife, and you want marriage coaching or relationship coaching, and you just want some enrichment to take your marriage to the next level, check out betterhusbandbetterwife.com.
That's wonderful. People, women, many of you are on here. I've seen you, my lovely sisters, many of you on here who come to me with your relationship questions. This is an African-American man who looks like you, looks like us. A lot of you say you want Black coaches, Black counselors. I understand that. You have one here right in front of you. Talk to your husband. If things are not going right, take him to Dr. Tartt and his wife. All of you singles out there who need a lot of counseling, a lot of you are dating wrong. You need Dr. Tartt. So follow him, check out his website, and please get the help you need. We need help with everything in life. We need help with health and wellness. We need help with relationships. We need help on how to make money. Put your money where it needs to be. Stop buying the stuff. Stop buying the stuff. So, Dr. Tartt, this was wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you for please have me back. I enjoyed it. This was
I will. I'll be back. Honestly, I'll be back. So is there like a one-liner that you want to tell people? You are a Christian counselor, which I also love. Will you coach people who are Muslim and from other religions?
Yeah. I meet you where you are. Wherever you are, and you help me understand what's important to you. I use your faith and where you come from. This is not church where I'm trying to convert you. That's not what I'm interested in. My job is to serve you. So wherever you come, I meet you where you are to help you get from point A to point B with your goals and relationships, parenting, love, whatever the case may be. So I'm glad to be a servant, and all honor and glory to God. So I'm thankful.
And you do have virtual counseling?
Yes.
Okay.
All virtual counseling now due to COVID. All right. Even though I'm in my office today, all virtual until COVID gets clear. But then once it's clear, I'm back to doing virtual and face-to-face here in the office.
I try to get all the questions out on behalf of my community because I have many Muslim sisters. I have some who are other religions. So I wanted to make sure.
Yeah, I do too. I do too. That's how I learn.
Yes.
To learn about someone's, not only their culture, but the culture of their individuality. Because just because someone, is a particular faith, that doesn't tell you much about them, right? Because there's so many different, specifications. So I meet you where you are. I've been doing this 21 years. I enjoy doing it. It's tough to get in for counseling because, the need is high. but I'll try and do what I can. But the coaching is available, you know, a lot. So
okay. Thank you.
all right.
God
Thank
bless
you.
you. We'll do this again. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Bye-bye.
Thank you. God bless.
Bye. Thank you. God bless you too. Bye.